it is not visible.
Okay. So annotations are not visible.
No, sir.
Let me check. Not is visible.
No, sir.
Oh.
Dear participants, please give some time. सर आ रहा है अब आ रहा है सर now it is visible.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So basically, I think you have got my point. If we are doing some coding in the previous session, I was trying to explain one example, but I was not aware that screen was not shown. So basically, we had one example of the years, leap year example. So if we have 1 year and we want to divide it by 4 and taking the remainder and checking it whether the remainder is 0 or
Excuse me,
not.
sir. Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir. Are you writing something right now?
Yeah.
Now it is visible. Now it is visible.
Okay. Fine. So if we divide it by 4, it will leave remainder 0. So if we try to make our perception on the basis of this logic that this program is correct, so it is not correct. Because if we divide 100 by 4, it will also leave remainder 0, but 100 is not a leap year. So in this case, we have to write the condition like that year must be divisible by 400. If it is not divisible by, if it is not divisible by 4. Okay. So, or we can write code if it is divisible by 400. If it is, we are checking it is divisible by 4. At what time? If it is not divisible by 100. So this is the perfect condition. If it is divisible by 4, in that case it must not be divisible by 100. It means it should not be the century years. Okay. And if it is not the case, in that case what we can do, we can just check whether this is divisible by 400 or not. So like this we can do right coding. So this is the basic example behind the test cases, because if we are going to do competitive coding, all the time we'll face test cases. So this is the basic question: what is test cases? So test cases, if you want to define test cases are the set of input and the corresponding output. So basically, in normal programming, in traditional programming languages, we have just program, and after that, when we run the program, we give our own input, and we just see output. But in competitive coding, we are not giving input. Input is already defined, and output is also defined. So the corresponding input is matched with the corresponding output. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी हमने जैसे देखा कि यहाँ पे इनपुट में क्या रहेगा, मान लीजिए 400 रहेगा, तो यहाँ पे तो चेक होगा कि दिस इज लीप ईयर और नॉट, तो उसमें यस या नो में आंसर है यस. इफ इट इज 100, so in that case it must be no. Like this, test input and output are already defined. We need to write a code in between here. So our task is to write a code such that the corresponding input and output are matched. So if our logic in the code is not correct, in that case, some test cases will be passed and some test cases would be failed. In that case, we are saying that some test cases are not passing because we are not covering all conditions. We are not covering all boundary points, or we in the software testing, we are also using this like unit testing and other. Same scenarios are implemented here. Input and output are met. If we have written a code and we've covered all the conditions, all the logic, then all test cases will be passed. So what is the benefit of doing all these things? If we are doing these things, we are habitual to implement testing in our module. Because testing is very important phase, very important part in the development field or in any field. If we have developed any module, first of all we must test that. कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट बनता है, कोई भी, जैसे अभी हम बात करें जैसे स्पेस में जो हमारे मिसाइल्स वगैरह भेजे जा रहे हैं, जो भी चीजें होती हैं, इनकी पहले टेस्टिंग हो जाती है। अचानक से एक बार में चीजें उसको हम लॉन्च नहीं कर सकते। तो टेस्टिंग हर एक फेज पे, हर एक मॉड्यूल पे टेस्टिंग होता है। दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। If you have joined any MNCs and they are following standard pattern of coding, here also you will find for every functionalities there is an option to add test job. In the last, I will share one screenshot also I will share. In that, for every functionality, suppose we are testing our API, whether API is working correctly or not. For that, we are having a test module. And in that test module, we are having input and output. Suppose we have functionality to access database. In that case, also we have a test case for test job for DB. That, depending on programmer, he can write some, one row information that will pass to the API to check whether API is working correctly or not, whether the user interface is working properly or not, whether connection is properly working or not, connection string is correct or not. For all these functionalities, so nowadays all MNCs are following, standard companies are following. Whenever you are, because and that scenario, multiple developers are there, some experienced developers are there, some junior developers are there. In that case, and all are working on the same project. So if I have written some functionality and others also have written some functionality, and the functionalities of our project is conflicting to each other, or suppose my functionality is depending on the functionality that is written by others. So if other functionality is not working properly or giving wrong data, in that case our functionality will also be destroyed. So in that cases, if we are writing any functionality, if we are writing any functions in the module, we have to write the test cases. We have to add test function or test job, like that terms is used in the industries. And all test cases must be passed, then only that will be uploaded to the server. Because whatever code we are writing in the industry in the day, that all must be checked in at the end of the day. So at that time, these are checked whether correct code is going onto the server or not. If we have uploaded wrong code onto the server, that will be very disaster for project. That's why companies are doing all these things. So at that time also we need to do all these things. That's why companies, MNCs, are recruiting the employees on the basis of these these scenarios, because they have seen very good improvement if the student or freshers are already used to on these platforms. Otherwise पहले क्या होता था कि उनको बहुत ज्यादा टाइम तक इन रियल टाइम सिनेरियोज में उन्हें ट्रेन करना पड़ता था कि ये कोड लिख रहे हो तो इसमें क्या गड़बड़ी हो रही है, ये कोड लिख रहे हो तो इसमें क्या गड़बड़ हो रहा है, ये सही नहीं है, ये वाला सही है, ये गलत है। बहुत ही गार्बेज कोड लिख दिया, बहुत लंबा चौड़ा कोड लिख दिया, परफॉर्मेंस स्लो हो गया। तो अगर हमें पहले से ही पता हो कि अगर हम जो कोड लिख रहे हैं वो ऑप्टिमाइज है या नहीं है, वो रिसोर्स कम से कम ले रहा है, ऐसा पता चला कि एक कोडिंग हमने कर दिया that which is taking a lot of space, and we have some limited space for particular module, so we'll run out of resources and then our module will not work, that will crash. So we have to worry about these things also. Okay. So HackerRank is the very good platform. We'll create our account on HackerRank and lead code. HackerRank and lead code is very important for the students who are willing to get good placement offers from top MNCs, or we can say product-based companies. Sports safe, sport forces are also very good. Top coder is also very popular. Top coder and sports. So we'll try to explore these platforms and how we should use these platforms. We'll also see in this session, because other sessions are also in using these platforms for the illustration of the coding problems and other things. So we need to create account on these platforms. Basically, top three: HackerRank, Lead Code, and Coursera. We will also use Geeks for Geeks, Coding Ninja, and other platforms. But at least we should have account on these platforms, because these are very reputed platforms. And if we have some achievement from these platforms, we can write in our CV also. That will help in the shortlisting process. Now, some competitive coding contests like ACM, ICPC. It is very big contest, very reputed contest. It is just like the Olympics, for the programming. So very old contest is this, and if we won this, we have cash prize of $15,000. So if we do practice on these platforms, definitely we will be prepared for participating in these contests. After that, we have Google Kickstart. So Google Kickstart is very good contest. If we participate in this contest and we are under the top participants, then Google will invite for the interview and we can get job. For a student, it is a very good contest. They should prepare for it. And if you are not going into the Google, if you have some position in the Google Kickstart, other companies are also giving preference for the student. So if you have participated in these contests, and if you have some certifications, some positions, definitely you can write in your CV, and it will be very beneficial at the time of placement. Google Code Jam is also organized by Google. This is yearly contest. In this also, $15,000 amount is as the cash prize. In Google Hash Code, 4,000 cash prize there. Any other contests are there? Top Coder Open, Facebook Hacker Cup, HackerRank, Code Sprint. It's also a very good contest. And nowadays, if you are using HackerRank, Lead Code, CodeSafe, you will see various contests are running. So if you will be used to using these platforms, you will find multiple contests, multiple benefits of using these platforms. You will have some cash prize. You will have, or many students are having many certifications, and they have one hackathons, and it is beneficial for placement, as well as it will give you some rewards in the terms of money. That is also very good encouragement for students. So our purpose is to prepare ourselves for these competitive coding contests, so that in last we can get good offers from big MNCs. And as a faculty, our goal is to train our student such that they can compete, they can use competitive coding platforms. They have commands over the TSA concept, they have command over the programming language. So our suggestion is, my suggestion is that you should pick one programming language and stick to that. Use that programming language throughout your coding process, because you will have good command over that. So if you are using C++, Java, or C, these are good. Recommendation is C++. Nowadays is very popular for competitive coding because it is having features of C programming language. This is very fastest programming language. So I have seen with my experience, I am saying, if you are lacking at somewhere in the coding and some logics are missing in terms of time complexity, the code is taking more time, and you are using C++ language for that, that will help you a little bit. So I have conversation with multiple students who have got very good package like 40 to 50 lakhs. They told me, sir, we are using C++ with STL. That is giving extra edge for the competitive coding. That's why we are recommending that. If you are comfortable in Java, you can also use Java. Is also a good programming language. But here is some restrictions for Python. But you can use Python with some limitations. So if you are having the basic programming knowledge and you are not habitual to use ready-made functions, then definitely Python will be also good for you. So these are the competitive coding contests that will be the goal of the competitive coders to participate. So here we'll start with the HackerRank, and HackerRank, we already know HackerRank is very reputed platform, and it started a revolution in the field of competitive coding. So HackerRank is a tech company that focuses on competitive programming challenges for consumers and the business. Basically, this is written for consumers because students can also use HackerRank. But basically, their main focus and earning is for the recruiters. Many recruitment companies are the partner of HackerRank. We'll see later. So developers compete by writing programs according to provided specifications that we have already discussed. We'll have some problem statement, some conditions to solve that problem. We'll have some sample test cases. We'll have some set of input, output, and we have to write optimized code for that. We can solve these problems on these platforms using any language. Here we have just written Java, C++, Python, but there are multiple, more than 40-50 languages are available to solve problems. So apart from C, C++, Java, and Python, can also use C#, Kotlin, JavaScript, many other languages for that, depending on our interest. But recommended is the basic programming language. So basically, HackerRank was founded as Interview State Incorporation by two NIT Trichy alumni, Vivek Ravishankar and Hari Karunanidhi, and they thought that this will be biggest revolution in the field of recruitment, and definitely it is true. Earlier, pen paper testing were there, and the recruitment process, after the hectic process, companies hired the interns, company hired the freshers, and after 6 months or 1 year, they found that they are not productive and they fire. So this was very difficult to identify good participants. And earlier, we had already seen that companies are visiting to the campuses and they are recruiting the students of reputed institutions or some institutions who are having good communication with the company. So the students of other colleges, tier 3, tier 4, other colleges are not getting chance to be placed in the good companies. But nowadays, this is the open market for all. If you have a skill, if you have good programming command, you can participate in the recruitment process and you can get good job, whether you are belonging to anywhere. So with after the coding revolution, we can see the private engineering college students are sitting with the IIT, NITs, and many reputed universities and colleges. Because of this, if you have a skill, whether you are from IIT, I have seen students of private colleges are getting higher packages than the other IIT and NIT. Because in IIT and NIT, there is uh, you know no such type of training process, and they have to do by themselves. But here in the private colleges, many engineering colleges have started training process. They are outsourcing the trainers. They are having their uh, in-house training team to provide these type of training skills to their students because the market is open. So it is very good for the students also, as well as if we are in the field of teaching, we should adopt all these things because nowadays and in the future, these will be the only option for us. We should adopt this. So partners of the HackerRank, if we can see here many MNCs, very good MNCs, Salesforce, VMware, Morgan Stanley, Adobe, uh, Goldman, LinkedIn, Bloomberg, Hoping Now, all these are the tier one basic companies, but there are multiple companies who are the partners of HackerRank. They are conducting contests through HackerRank and shortlisting a student from there.